Hello everyone, we are Group 7 from Department of French. Today our topic is interesting things about France, so we are going to present this topic in the next 10 minutes for you. Well, let's go on the plan together to find out what are those interesting things in France. Hi everyone, I'm Wen. Today I'm going to talk about some true French pronunciations. When we talk about France, this kind of image might jump into your head. Well, as a student of French literature, the most word that I have heard is bonjour. It were not probably bonjour, but like bonjour, 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 something like that. If you want to speak correct French, and that will be bonjour. Have you ever heard people yelling "encore, encore" at the end of the concert? Actually, it's a word from French, and it means more, and we pronounce it encore. Surely you have heard bravo in several films. It means you have done a good job. In French, it is bravo. And after, I will talk about some famous French brands and how to pronounce it correctly. First, Chanel. People often call it香奈儿in Taiwan, but in French, it would be Chanel. Second, it would be Louis Vuitton. Some people just call it LV, but it doesn't work that way in France. You have to say Louis Vuitton. Next brand I will talk about is Agnes B. It will be more elegant if you say Agnes B than Agnes B. Next one will be the most difficult to pronounce. Christian Dior in English, and Taiwanese people call it Dior. In French, it is Christian Dior. I believe that languages are alive, so those French words who was transformed in English are also correct. So it doesn't matter if you want to pronounce them in English. It would be interesting and helpful if you could pronounce them in their original language.
I'm Jenny. I will talk about some special French cuisine for you. Speaking of French food, you may think of this delectable food like macaron, cannelé, chocolat eclair, and croissant. They are really delicious and exquisite. But there also is something special food like this. You may be shocked or even don't believe it, but they are really delicious food and French people love them so much. For example, French people love to eat snails. Although eating snails is a common thing all over the world, France is exactly famous for eating snail food in the world. According to the record, French eat 300,000 tons of snails a year. France ate snails food hundreds of years ago. They consider snails food as the symbol of trendy and healthy, and it's not really cheap, so you can usually eat them in the high-end restaurant. Next, French people love to eat rabbit meat. You may think it's a cruel thing to eat rabbit, a cute animal. Actually, rabbit meat is a common ingredient in Europe. You even can easily see it in the supermarket. It tastes like chicken, but more tender. Apparently, it's more expensive than chicken. And then French people eat horse meat. In fact, Europeans have the tradition of eating horse meat. There are even horse meat shops in France, Germany, Netherlands, and so on. In France, there are over 700 horse meat shops, but most of these shops are facing a bankrupt crisis. The consumption of horse meat becomes less and less because horses are seen as part of sports competitions and performance. They are no longer be think of a source of food in nowadays. Last, French people love to eat frog, and you may have heard that the French are called frogs. The French eat about 8,000 frogs a year. due to the production cannot meet the demand, France must rely on imports. Strangely, French especially eat frogs like meat. This is different from Taiwan's habit of cooking a whole frog.
Hello everyone, I want to talk about French dining rules you should know. If a French guy would like to make friends with you, he would probably invite you to dine at his home. First, it's implied that you'll be on time. If he told you, we meet at 7 o'clock, you should go his home at about 7:30. In that way, he will have more time to prepare your dinner. Second, don't forget to bring a bottle of wine at his first meeting. Third, l'apéritif before dinner. It means a cocktail before dinner. In fact, the French eat dinner very late, so there is l'apéritif before dinner. L'apéritif is a special culture of France. During this time, you could have some alcoholic drinks, soft drinks, and some snacks before dinner. Third, keep chatting with their family when you are dining. The French is used to chatting with others when they are dining. If you are not noisy enough, they would say, "On t'entend pas beaucoup." That means you should say something.
French fashion is discreet, diverse, and subtle. When it comes to style, the French do it better. French women are into buying clothes that make them feel pretty, but they have never cared about having the latest thing. In France, you wouldn't see what labels they are wearing. They think it's very snobby. They don't wear too many colors too. When you walk the street in Paris, you don't see too many colors. It's just more of a quiet elegance. French women don't like be over sexy. They would never wear miniskirt. They recognize it as filth. Only prostitute would wear like that. However, it's okay for them to wear clothes with plunging neckline. Now let's talk about luxury handbags. In France, French women would avoid carrying bags with the name of the brands shown very distinctly. They think style is the way you wear your attitude, not by showing the name of the brand. And you are not poster too. Don't be a slave to trend, but know what they are.
Now I will introduce some weird laws in France. There's no doubt France, like most countries, has its own share of seemingly crazy laws and decrees. It is illegal to have unlimited self-service ketchup in French school cafeterias. In 2011, French authorities banned it, along with unlimited mayonnaise and vinaigrette salad dressing, in an effort to promote healthy eating among kids. However, the red stuff can still be served with certain meals, such as chips. France is renowned for being a health-conscious nanny state, even though a study this week found that 1 in 2 French people over the age of 30 are overweight. Pig owners can call their pig Napoleon. This appears to be more myth than reality, but worth including anyway, we think. Former Emperor Napoleon apparently introduced this law to avoid him being the subject of mockery. You can write a check on toilet paper, unless your bank manager refuses to accept it, which he probably will, to be fair. But you would be within your rights to point out that you don't actually need a checkbook. Pins are lethal weapons in Paris. At least, that's according to the penal code in France. So It's all give thanks to the rubbish collectors, whose job is clearly up there with bomb disposal units in terms of danger.
This will be the end of our presentation. Interesting things in France. Thank you, Maxi.